Hey everyone, today we're excited to announce the latest of our large dinosaur TLCs, the Spinosaurus.
This week has been wild. We got the long-awaited Spino TLC and some major stat changes. It seemed kind of like a good news, bad news delivery from the devs. Good news is that we finally got the TLC for the Spino, and we've been asking for that for a long time, so awesome. Bad news is we are nerfing everything. At least that is the way the community has been making it out to seem. But is it as bad as we all think? Why don't we go ahead and go over the TLC and those stat changes, and we can talk about whether or not the stat changes were good, or were they as bad as everyone is saying they are. Let's jump right into it. So as I am recording this, it's the weekend after the release that I was finally able to get my hands on the TLC and give the Spino a try. And I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty awesome. I actually really like this TLC. I think they did a fantastic job. As you can see, this is some of gameplay with the Spino. And even though they kind of nuked the health, which we'll talk about a little bit later, of all the apexes, I never felt like I wasn't as tanky as I used to be with the Spino. I still felt like it was very tanky. The thing I loved the absolute most is the new tail attack that they have for the Spino and how they've increased the damage for all of the tail attacks. I just thought that was awesome. That helped me so much in a lot of the fights that I had. I actually only died once. It was to a duck and I was underwater, but you know, I'm terrible. And water combat is just something else. If only I'd stop holding the precise movement button while I'm in water, because it doesn't work. But anyways, you guys let me know your thoughts on the Spino in the comments down below. What build you guys are using. I briefly go over the build in the video you guys can see before I start fighting. That was the one that I was running. Definitely went with the full water build, so it probably would have been a little helpful to mix things up. And the one complaint that I do have with the Spino is that it only has the one claw slot. I would have liked to see it have two. Maybe that would have made it a little overpowered, but I kind of felt like I had to choose between the underwater claw attack and the claw slam, the one and only AoE move that the Spino has, which also made the picking the voice a little silly. You only have the one AoE move, and the voice skill is going to amplify the AoE. So it's like for one move, you're going to have this voice ability. Otherwise, like it's kind of useless. So yeah, that's like the one complaint I have about the Spino. Otherwise, I thought it was fantastic. I had a lot of fun playing on it. I would definitely recommend it for new players that are wanting to play on an Apex, because again, like I said in the last Suko video, and I think I said in the duck video, having a semi-aquatic is always great for beginners because you have that extra escape route into the water, and that is always going to be really nice to have, especially when other people aren't necessarily playing on those. I mean, I wasn't able to outrun the duck, but I did have a good time fighting against the two raptors and the aloe. I felt like I did a pretty good job holding my own against them, and yeah, that was pretty good. And I was able to kill one, so that was pretty awesome too. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the Spino. I love it. I love the new TLC with it. It looks fantastic. It feels fantastic. But now let's get to the meat of it, the stat changes. In my opinion, looking at everything they've done, I just don't really see people wanting to play the Apexes as much, you know, outside of the people that are really good with them. And I think some of the semi-aquatics, like why would anyone want to play a slower dino that has a bit more health and combat weight than the, you know, the sub-apexes or the smaller ones, but nowhere near the maneuverability or speed as those smaller dinos. And you can really see what the developers have done when it comes to the stat changes. They really nerfed the health. I mean, they took almost a quarter of the health away from the 5-slot dinos and really kind of smushed everything down. They were saying it was because they were having some power scaling issues with the 5 slots and then the 4 slots and below, which I thought was kind of funny. I mean, I didn't feel like the 5 slots, even with their massive pools of health, were terribly overpowered. I didn't think that they were unapproachable, especially by people that were playing really well, that knew what they were doing. But even for beginners, especially if you're in a group, I don't think that it was that bad. But this definitely kind of kills it for people that want to play as an Apex solo. I also think it kind of hurts people that like to play, you know, in groups of 2, especially since, and this is the other part of the patch that I think is pretty controversial, is they increased the group size to 12. So now, instead of just having, you know, 2 sub Apexes in a group and then maybe like 2 1-slot dinosaurs or a 2-slot, you're gonna have 3. You have 3 sub Apexes in a group against, like, you know, 2 Apexes. What are they gonna do? You know, especially with the 3 of them being able to benefit from the buffs that they're getting from, you know, from each other against those 2. Like, it just seems like it's like they've just kind of nerfed the Apexes. Like, why play on them? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, as a bad solo player, I normally don't play the Apexes, you know, other than on the videos that I like to make, where I test out the dinos and see if they're good for people that aren't as good at the game, or for beginners, which if you haven't checked out my other videos yet, you should go check them out. Anyways, other than that, I don't really play on them, and having that extra health pool cushion was nice because I felt like it did make up for, you know, the lack of skill that I had in allowing me to still compete against the sub Apex and bigger groups of the smaller dinos. But now not having a lot of that is definitely going to hurt. I don't know that I'll be touching as many of the Apexes in the future, especially with this new update. I mean, again, the Spino was great, and it's a little different with it being a semi-aquatic, but, you know, I don't know that I would go for a T-Rex or the Titan or, you know, the EO Trike or anything like that, just because of the lack of health. It also sounded like this really hurt Anno players. So if you're an Anno main, let me know what your thoughts are. Sounds like you guys kind of got hurt by this. Same with the ramp, with them nerfing the scab bite. Not great. Not great. But yeah, so I'm probably going to be sticking to the smaller dinos when I'm trying to have a lot of fun. But I am a bit confused as to what the devs are doing. It seems like this is not even really divided the player base. It seems more like it's united them and saying that this is such a terrible update. At the end of the day, I love the game. It's fun to play, and I'll always find a way to have fun and to enjoy it regardless of the updates that they make. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think about all these changes. Are you in favor of the stat changes? You know, hate them, love them? What are your thoughts on the Spino TLC? And let me know all this down in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and check out my community tab for my live stream schedule. I'll be playing Path of Titans live every Tuesday evening at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So come hang out, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.